Hey everybody, this is John back from Sir Winston Honeybees, and well, we're here to check the hives today, and we're going to see how they're doing. So I haven't actually been in the hives for a week now. I did feed them, I think midweek, just gave them some more sugar water. So just to kind of reiterate the situation right now, we're kind of coming out of a dearth, which is a period of time where there's no nectar flowing, and we're entering a new nectar flow here. With goldenrod starting to pop. So right now they're bringing in pollen, but I haven't been out here in a week, and what I noticed is you'll see hive number 1, which is the original hive with our new queen. It's very crowded outside, as you can see, and hive number 2, which up until now has been pretty laid back, also very crowded outside. I'm also seeing bees on the top entrance, which they can't enter from. It's possible that they're trying to rob this hive again. So some bees are coming trying to rob the hive. There are some signs that tell me that maybe it's not a robbing situation and that there is pollen going in. Here's the thing, it's been extremely hot all week. So it's been hot, it's been humid, it's been in the 90s, and so it's possible that the bees are just hot. Even though right now it's about 80 degrees and it's right around 11 o'clock, but it's been hot and humid, and my sense is, and I'm hoping to be right, is that they're not being robbed, and they're just outside because of the heat and humidity in the hive. It's also possible that hive number 2, we had a lot of brood, cat brood the last time we went in, so they might have hatched. So that hive number 2 with old queen, is getting populated, which is a good thing because they want to draw comb. And hopefully, as we enter this new nectar flow, we're going to be able to add a honey super on top that they can draw out and start depositing honey. But we have been feeding them sugar water. I got some more sugar water ready to go in today, just because, the goldenrod is popping, but the nectar flow is not on yet. So it might be a week or so before we can actually say that, we're in a nectar flow. This probably would be the last big nectar flow of the year. So it's critical right now that the bees draw comb and that they start making honey to prepare for the winter. Now, another thing that I'm going to do today, if I can find the queen, and in order to do that, I've got my trusty queen clip right here, is we're going to do a mite check, an alcohol wash. So if we can locate the queen, isolate the queen, find some frames that have some uncapped brood, we're going to shake them into a box or into a bowl. And then we're going to take a half a cup of bees out of that bowl, live bees, and a half a cup is around 300 bees, and we're going to put them in a mason jar with alcohol in it. And my friend Jesse Kim has loaned me a mason jar that has a screen on top that I'm going to put the bees in. We're going to kill those bees, 300 bees. We're going to swirl it around in there, and that should wash out any mites that are on the bees. That'll give us a count as to our mite count in the hive. So with 300 bees in a cup, or in a half a cup, we should be able to get a mite count, approximating how many mites per 100 bees. If we have under 3 mites per 100 bees, that means less than 9 mites in this alcohol wash. We're probably in pretty good shape and we don't need to treat. If we have anything above that, the varroa mite might be starting to attach itself to the larvae and to the bees, and we might have to do a treatment, a mite treatment, which we can talk about next time, because it is finally going to cool down this week, so we can get into a range of temperatures that it's okay to do the mite treatment. All right, so let's go ahead, get inside the hives. First of all, we're going to check if they've been, taking out the sugar water that I've been feeding them from the feeder, and hopefully they're not getting robbed. So we'll know they're not getting robbed if we see actual nectar and honey being deposited into the frames in the hive. So we're going to start with hive number 2, because that's the one of greatest concern right now. And if I find the queen, I'll isolate her and we'll do this alcohol wash. So let's go in, because that's the only way you really know what's going on. All right, before we get started, as always, I want to thank my viewers and my subscribers, especially those of you who, like I said, have been subscribing. If you haven't done so yet, please be sure to hit subscribe and the notification button. We like it also if you would hit the thumbs up button, just to let me know that you like my videos. I especially want to thank my new friend Brian from Castle Hives. The dude is awesome. So He's been doing this about 3-4 years, and he has his own YouTube channel, which I'm going to link right here. What you got to do is you got to hit the exclamation point right here, and you'll see the link to Castle Hive's YouTube channel. Watch Brian. He's really, really good. What's funny is that I watched his very first video where he got a 3-pound box of bees, and his wife and his kid were watching him take it out, and the same level of fascination that I had when I first opened my first nuke back in May. So that's Brian from Castle Hive. He's been great, giving me some advice, some comments. So again, make sure you check out all the YouTubers doing bees. You know, David Burns, Vino Farms is very good, and Brian is great because he's local. He's down in the Youngstown area, so that's good. So let's take a look inside and see how much of they've been eating, and we'll take it from there. I also want to thank my buddy Jesse Kim. Like I said earlier, he loaned me these boxes here so I could cover my feeders. Since I'm new, I don't have a lot of equipment. It's always great to know people that can loan you equipment. Which, by the way, reminds me, one of my friends on the Facebook in Northeast Ohio Beekeepers, he found that he had some American foul brood in his hive. He had an inspector come out, and they found American foul brood, which basically is a disease that can destroy a hive. Only way to kill that is by burning your hives. So my buddy Nick had to burn all his hives and his equipment. So if you're a beekeeper and you have extra equipment to spare, you know, anybody who needs equipment or whatever, or who has to burn it because of American foul brood, we should band together and just send our buddies any spare equipment that we have. So that's Nick. If you need some more information, you know, just message me, and I'll get the information to Nick. So the first thing I'm seeing is there's a lot of sawdust here. I'm not sure what that means, so I'm going to have to look that up, but we may have some carpenter bees or carpenter ants that are trying to eat through some of this wood and trying to get in. I see some big black ants over here too. I don't want to treat them with anything because I don't want to hurt my bees. What I'm also seeing is, I see some bees with some pollen on their legs. So the little wood shavings over here, a little bit of an area of concern, I suppose. Pull this off and see how much sugar water is left in here. It's totally empty. Totally empty. So they've been eating this, and I can see there's some sugar water on there. Okay. Let's get inside the inner cover and see what we find. So I'm going to be checking for beetles also. You see a big black ant over there, but let's check for small hive beetles, which are sometimes a concern. I see one, so we're gonna destroy that guy. So at first look right underneath the inner cover, I don't see a lot of bees and a lot of bee activity. I see them underneath below. So we'll go ahead and find the queen, and we'll try and do that burrow and mite test. You know what? I really need some advice on how I can clean these gloves, because they're sticky, they're nasty. So how do I do them? Do I wash them with hot water, cold water? Do I freeze them and break off the propolis? Help me out, please. Some comments and advice on that would be great. So we have some open larvae. As you can see, a lot of cap brood right in the middle right there. It's a beautiful frame, even with nectar and honey on the outside. So this hive is not being robbed. We can conclude that. The one thing I'll tell you that I learned recently is that this time of year, as we get into the fall, queens start to slow down. So they start to slow down the laying, to start just kind of making room for the hive to get filled with resources, which we see the bees are doing. You can see on the lower edges, honey being deposited, nectar, and right in the center, lots of brood. So this is the frame to check for mites. We have to find that queen, because we don't want to put her in the alcohol. All right, so bees are drawing comb, and the queen is laying eggs. All good signs. There she is. There's our queen. Okay, so we're seeing our queen right here. I don't know if you can see her. She's moving right to the center of the frame. She's got a pink dot. Now she's moving up and to your left. So we're going to go ahead and put this back Whoops. It's still on there. Very carefully. Make sure she's safe. And now we know that we can go ahead and do that mite check. So we're going to shake off this frame, and from that we'll have 300 bees. We'll get a half a cup and we'll put them in the alcohol. So, we shook off 300 bees, well, about half a cup, probably less than that. Again, this is my first time doing it, so, but you can see we got them in there. They're dead. It's a necessary job to do this, right? And we're going to go ahead and swirl this. Just swirl these bees, and then we're going to pour the alcohol into a white bowl, which I don't have purely white, but I'm going to look for mites. All right, so just going to pour this alcohol in here. So what I'm looking for is little red So I'm looking at possibly two mites, perhaps. You can see them floating around. They're mites. They do look like they have little legs. So they're probably mites, but it's not enough to worry. We don't have a high mite count, if that's what they are. All right, well, another inspection is done, and some good things and some bad things. First of all, hive number 2, Old Queen. Old Queen looks great. She's laying lots of eggs. She's populating that hive. Looks good, storing nectar. We got some more sugar water on it. That looks fantastic. Did a mite wash, and in that hive, I found 2 mites. So that's good. So we're not going to treat, because treating is bad for the queen. Now, hive number 1 with new queen. I'm a little bit more concerned. Now, I did see a lot of larvae. I saw a lot of capped brood, but I saw 0 eggs. Now, I may have missed them, but because the sun angle is kind of weird, but usually I'm pretty good at spotting them. So I saw 0 eggs in hive number 1. I didn't spot the queen, but there are few days old larvae. So is she still there? Did she die? Did she just stop laying altogether? I mean, if that's the case, the bees are going to start, superseding her. They'll replace her. Or you tell me, do I have to requeen this colony? They're not aggressive or anything like that. They seem pretty chill. So they're doing pretty good as far as that's concerned. They're drawing comb very slowly. They are storing some resources, but I definitely need to put more sugar water in there. But I don't see the eggs. So again, give me some commentary on that. Of course, so is subscribe to my channel. And hit the notification button. Give me the thumbs up as well. The other thing that I noticed in hive number 1 is that I saw some larvae that seemed like the tops of it were kind of uncapped, and they were a little bit dry, not like they usually see, kind of glistening. Maybe they're still capping it because they were a little bigger larvae, almost at pupal stage. Again, I'm no expert, so I don't really know what I'm looking at. I'll refer to one of my books and see if that's something I need to see or not see. But what I'd like you to do is to please give me some commentary and let me know. As always, I'd like to thank you for watching, and take a quick look at my new buddy Brian with Castle Hives. Just click on the exclamation point, and that'll open up his link. He's been real helpful to me. He lives nearby. Someday, I'd like to go down and meet him or something, or have him come up here and take a look at my hive. We'll see. I didn't do an alcohol wash on this one just because I couldn't find the queen, but I don't think I have a mite problem, so I think I'm in pretty good shape. So like I was saying, As always, thanks a lot for watching, and my name is John. I'm with Sir Winston Honeybees, and happy bees, everybody.